Question 3, please deliberate. What is your philosophy of discipline of one's children? Is using physical means, spanking, permissible or not? I've heard some argue that physical discipline, like spanking, is counterproductive because it teaches children to obey out of fear rather than to learn self-control. However, having children myself, I find it near impossible to get them to listen without threat of force behind my commands.
Well, it depends on what kind of child you have. It's great if you have one of those that can be argued into behaving, but if not, self-control out of fear is still self-control and will still get eventually habituated. What I believe to be more important is that punishments aren't applied arbitrarily, but only for making the wrong choice, where the child should have already known not to make it. Like rule of law. Take this with some grain of salt. I don't have kids.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Martin on this. I think it's a binary argument is a falsehood. And he's hit it all the way, is that if you haven't had or seen kids with a runaway mind, right? Some kids are like adults. They can be present when you just talk to them. Some kids require adjustment, or influence or overriding in order to get them even pay vague attention to you. And some kids just basically go completely lose it. And without heavy external stimuli, they cannot focus. So it all depends on the child. Now the people who write these books, of course, are all the same category of people, so they all believe the same things. But I don't. I mean, I think it's just a sliding scale, as the reason for such things is to uh, override the stimulus, right, to the point where you can actually get them to consider what the consequences of what they're doing. So I think of it as not so much as punishment as
Negative reinforcement.
what?
Negative reinforcement.
Negative reinforcement. So I agree with Martin entirely. One of the people we work with very closely, who we agree heavily with, is the guy who does and his wife who do the Children Don't Need Education.
No, it's Kids Don't Need School.
Students Don't School,
Yes.
excuse me.
Homeschool Life LLC.
Right.
Jonathan and Adriana Prescott.
But the Prescotts are good examples of traditional European middle class, right? And so I agree with that. If you are possessed of the temperament yourself. But my cousin Robert was a fucking terror, right? And there was just no way getting his attention without something to get his attention, right? And so that worked. I know I was not. I certainly had plenty of I had Tabasco on my tongue if I said something inappropriate to my mother, right? I had spanking. I had the whole range of things. And the thing that worked for me the most was just my mother's disapproval or torturing my autism by making me stand in a corner, face the wall, right? Fear does work. It does work if that's what's needed. But to claim all children don't need that, and I'm not trying to be racist, it's just the examples I know. If you've ever seen young black boys in a fucking store, I mean, mom just cannot get control of them. Some, not all of them. I'm just saying there's some these children, they're somewhat like that. When we see a white kid do that, we just think they're screwed up. right? But, you know, any child can demonstrate these behaviors just by being tired, because when you're tired, your capacity for regulation goes down. So as always, Martin's right, and I don't have any particular thing to add other than I don't believe in the all or nothing. I think I spanked my son twice, and his reaction was like I cut off his head or something. Right? But it was the only way to get him out of his sort of tantrum state.